Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Keeping It Chaotic podcast. My name is Ava.
My name is Cheyenne, and today we are doing our top 5 no skip albums. And following that, we are going to give our top 3 of that album that we pick. We say top 5, but they're not like ranked 1 through 5 just because that was too much already and we were already stressed out. You know us, you know the deal. We take this shit way too seriously. But it means a lot to us because music we take so seriously.
Music is our life.
Literally our whole life. And my whole identity is making playlists and being a music lover.
Being a fangirl.
If you know me, you know I am the queen of playlists. I love making playlists for literally any occasion. Car rides, girls trips, sad playlists, like anything. I probably have a playlist too. So
yeah, but this is just kind of like 5 albums that we think are no skips, and I thought it would kind of be fun to do because I feel like we talk about it a lot, like, oh, this is a no skip album, but is it really a no skip album?
Yeah, it was tough because like we obviously have favorite albums, but I feel like there's always that 1 or 2 songs that we're like, I could probably skip that, or that's like not a song that I typically go and put on compared to a lot of our other favorite songs. So we really dove into this one and we're like, it has to absolutely have no skips whatsoever. Even the slightest bit of doubt, take it out. So yeah, this is our top 5. Would you like to start?
Sure. Let me pull up my notes. I came up with this episode little idea because of this one specific album, and it is Kid Crow by Conan Gray. There is something about this album that is just going to do it for me every time, and absolutely no skips. There are like, I feel like you call them like interludes, and there's like 2 songs on there that are like a minute, and it's just kind of like voice memo-y sort of songs, but they're still so incredible and like genuinely some of my favorites. I love them. But yeah, I found that this album through TikTok, like the story, which is a song on the album, was like trending on TikTok when it first came out. That's kind of how I dove into Conan and his discography. And this album is just gonna do it for me every single time. I'd say my top 3 from Kid Crow, which I always have such a hard time saying that title name. Like, since I've listened to him, I'm always like, I always call it something different every time. I'm like, I don't know what the hell this album is called. But my top 3 is Little League, which that song just, it's amazing. It's so good. And then I have Checkmate for my number 2. And the third song is The Cut That Always Bleeds. Something about Conan and belting it out and, you know, using his trauma.
We love using our trauma.
We love it. But yeah, that's like for me the definition of an absolutely no skip album. Every song does it. 10 out of 10. We love a good no skip album, honestly.
Love. I feel like we get so passionate about albums, especially like new releases, but it's like we have our favorite songs and then that's kind of it. But like when we have a no skip album, we listen to it over and over and over. And I feel like it's our identity. So yeah. Like it just, yeah, it makes sense. The one of the first ones that I put was Harry Styles, his debut album. I love all of his albums. Excuse you.
I'm so sorry.
I love all of his albums truly, but I think, you know, if you've been here and seen episodes in the past, you know I'm the biggest Fine Line stan ever. I absolutely love that album. It's so good, but I don't love Treat People with Kindness. Like, it's not a song that I typically put on. Like, if I hear it live, love it. Energy's great. I'd love to hear it.
Doing the boot scoot.
Yeah, but typically it's a song that I skip just because I'm like, it's okay. It's more fun to hear live than it is just like listening to it in the car or whatever. And then same with Harry's House. I feel like that was kind of a no skip album for me, but I feel like the Treat People with Kindness song on that album is Music for a Sushi Restaurant. And I feel like after that music video came out, I just kind of was like scared for my life. So I just ended up going with Harry Styles, his debut album, because every song on that for a debut album is fantastic. So my top 3 from that album are Only Angel, because what a banger. So fun.
What a banger.
Truly. And then I also have Sweet Creature. I have 4 songs on there because I can't ever decide. But I ended up going with Only Angel, Sweet Creature, and Carolina. I had 2 Ghosts on there, but ultimately I'm picking Sweet Creature because it just means a lot to me. When I was pregnant with my first daughter, I listened to this song a lot, and I played this song for the baby all the time. So that was like her soothing song when she was born. I would play that song and she'd kind of like chill out to it. So that song just holds a lot of meaning. It's also a beautiful song. And Carolina, it's just so iconic. I feel like you can't not mention that album and not mention the song Carolina, because he met her once and wrote a song about her. Are you fucking kidding me?
Every time we listen to that song, we're like,
insane.
what the fuck do you
And he
mean?
also says her name in it, which is like
Actually insane.
how are you like fine? Like, how is that girl fine? I don't know. But yes, that is my first pick. I had to mention my boy Harry, you know?
I also am changing one of mine just in my head right now. So yeah. But my next album, which is also another definition of a true no skip album, Heartbreak Weather by Niall Horan. I talked about this in the last episode, but that album truly changed my life. It changed the way that I listen to music, how I like digest the lyrics and everything. Changed me like being a fangirl, being like a, what do they call it? I don't know. Just like changed the way that I appreciate music. And it came out right when COVID happened and the world shut down in March 13th of 2020 and never got the tour that it deserved. And it is just such an incredible album. I swear it would have, I just know that it would have been big like Harry's albums are if it got the time to. But it didn't, unfortunately. But my top 3 songs from that album are Dear Patience, which if you heard last episode, you know that I had a mental breakdown listening to that live a few weeks ago. And then Still, which is just another incredible song that I also sobbed to.
So good.
And then my third one, I had a hard time because there's so many good songs in there, but I had to go with Heartbreak Weather because the first 2 were so sad and I just had to throw a banger in there. But it truly is like, it's the title track. It's the opening track on the album and it fits like so well. And I feel like that song is just really Niall. It's like the fun side of Niall. It's really him. And I really appreciate that song a lot. But yeah, that album means so incredibly much to me and like my journey as a fangirl and with music. Definitely changed the way that I, again, like digest every single lyric and understand the stories behind every song. So yeah.
Yep. I still honestly fucks me up every time I hear it. It's
Still?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a tough song to digest for sure, but it's so chef's kiss. Love. My next album is a newer album. I've jumped on the Gracie Abrams train and I am so glad to be here. I feel like I was at the train stop, kind of just waiting to get on.
Yeah, she was waiting to jump.
And I have fully jumped first class. I love it here.
We've been waiting.
Yeah. They welcomed me with open arms. But my next album is The Secret of Us. I said in the last episode, like, this album has come out. It's such a perfect time for me. for like my personal growth and where I am headed currently. And yeah, I also said like this album I needed so badly when I was like 18, 19 years old. But also at the age of 26, it still means so much to me. And I'm so thankful that this album has been given to us gracefully. And yeah, my top 3 songs are I Love You, I'm Sorry, because that bridge is absolutely insane. I can't remember anything else, but I can recite word for word that bridge. It's just incredible. There's no skips on the album for me, but I Love You, I'm Sorry is probably my most played currently. My next song is I Knew It, I Know You, because I feel like I wrote that song, and like it's just dagger to the heart. And I think this song specifically opened a new chapter in my life that I just so desperately needed. It was the change of scenery that I needed, I think. But I think if you're going through like a breakup or just kind of figuring out your like next move in life and just trying to make yourself a priority, this song is for you. Listen to it, you're gonna love it. And then my last song is Free Now, because what a fun song to sing to. It's like so sad, and then it's so upbeat, and then it's like, should I be sad or should I be shaking my ass right now? Like, I love that song. I love this album. 10 out of 10. Recommend to everybody. You know me, I'm a sad girly. I love my sad girly stuff. But lyrically, this album is insane. And I am obsessed. I am so happy to be here. Part of the Gracie Abrams fandom now.
Woo! We've been waiting so long for this, and it finally happened.
I do feel free now, for sure.
Yeah, that's an incredible album as well. My third album is Guts by Olivia Rodrigo. We know that we are huge Olivia Rodrigo fans, for obvious reasons. But, you know, Cheyenne's very much a sour girly. I am very much a Guts girly, till the day I die. But yeah, I feel like that album was just like so highly anticipated, and it lived up to the hype. Also, it being a sophomore album, truly beating the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Which was just
could have been really bad, but
but it wasn't.
It.
So
yeah.
My top 3 songs are Teenage Dream, which came out when I was 19. Luckily, I am basically the same age as her, so like every time she releases her songs, they just hit that much harder. So Teenage Dream coming out when I was 19, and actually being able to hear that song at least once when I was 19 was crazy and emotional. So that's my first song. And then second is Get Him Back. The bridge for that song is what brings it up so high. It's absolutely insane. That whole like repetitive chorus part, I guess, is just insane. And then the third song I have is Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. If you know, you know. If you understand the song, you get it. You get it. It's just insane, and I'm so excited to hear it live and to scream so loud for that song.
Guts is such a fucking fantastic album.
Guts is just banger after banger.
It is. I struggled and I almost put that on this list, but ultimately, as she said, I am a sour girl. And that is actually my next album, so.
Oh my god. Perfect.
Yeah, I decided to take this one out. Okay. I think we're just gonna go here. Yes, are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
My next album is Sour by Olivia Rodrigo, because I think Guts and Sour are the perfect explanations of who me and Ava are. And yeah, Sour for me, again, would have loved that when I was 18, 19 years old, but I feel like it's, it's run its course, and now maybe relating to it a little bit a little bit more than I did when it first came out. And I think ultimately that's what I struggled with at first, because I was like, I love Sour, it's so good, but I don't currently like relate to any of these songs. But I do now, so it's fine, you know. Sour just is a special place and time because we obviously went to the Sour tour. I was pregnant, felt my daughter kick me for the first time. So it's very special. But the top 3 songs that I ended up picking are Favorite Crime, because I don't think that I appreciated it enough, the time of it like coming out, because I was all about my next song, which is Traitor, which is to this day love, absolutely could scream every word and kill it. But Favorite Crime needs its, you know, it needs to be put up on this pedestal because
It's
it
Flowers.
is so good. Lyrically, musically, even the melody is like insane. Like it's all so good. And then the last song that I picked is Jealousy Jealousy. I felt like in the beginning I was kind of like, the song's like okay, but the more that I like listened to it, I loved it, could like relate to it. The lyrics are again insane for a first album. But yeah, Sour is my album for sure. You're Guts all the way.
Yeah.
I did struggle. I like wanted to put Guts just because it is so good, and there's absolutely no skips on that album either. But I'm a Sour girly through and through, so I'm gonna stick to my roots.
Yeah. You know, I was just thinking I know why we didn't appreciate Favorite Crime hearing it live the first time. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because she brought out Dan and it was like acoustic. And it was like really quiet. That is why we did not scream our lungs out to it.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song needs to be screamed and shouted and played as is because it's so good. And this is the song that like will heal you if you like scream it. So
yeah. Well, luckily for us, he'll be able to do that in 10 days. So
that's great.
We're so excited. Yeah, but I mean, we say this all the time. Our favorite Olivia albums like represent us so well, and they're so different.
Yeah.
Sour versus Guts. If you know, you know. You're truly either a Sour girl or a Guts girl. Like there's like literally no in between.
Maybe the third album will be an in-betweener.
Yeah, hopefully. My 4th album, and I don't think that I've ever really talked about this band before, but it's Mama's Boy by Lainey. It's their 3rd studio album, and I love this album so much. I used to be a dancer, so the first time like I heard a Lainey song was for like an across the floor routine, and someone had used it to just play along while we danced, and I was like, oh my god, what is this song? Like, I really like it. And then I got into all their music, and around like 2020 I started getting like deeper into music and listening to like a bunch of different discographies and everything, and Lainey's really caught my attention, and this album specifically. This album also came out during COVID, and I am so convinced that all of the best albums anyone has ever released has come out during COVID or because of COVID, and like they never got to tour it, which is so depressing and upsetting because I would have loved to hear all of these songs live just once in my life. Yeah. Isn't that so true though? Like Heartbreak Weather, this album, Folklore, Evermore, like there were so many albums that came out, and due to COVID they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I feel like COVID obviously was devastating for a lot of people, but like musically I felt like it was the time that like truly brought good music, good lyrical music back. And then I also seen a TikTok, funny enough, about this the other day that was like, you know, Taylor was going to do Loverfest and give, you know, Lover its flowers, but like if it wasn't for COVID, like we would probably never have the Eras tour.
Yeah.
And it's like so crazy to think because it's like, where would she be if there was no Eras tour? You know, like obviously she's big regardless, but like Would she be this big?
Yeah. Because I feel like, especially for her, kind of going off, but whatever. Don't we always? Like, so many people got into her music during COVID too. Like, I know I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy to think, like, how much changed and how much wouldn't be if the world hadn't ended.
I think it gave everyone, like, the time to slow down and really be, like, reflecting on their life and everything that they're currently going through and putting out relatable music. And, I think
everyone just kind of absorbed it in their own way and gave it the attention that it needed.
Yeah, it was a sad time, but also music times.
Yeah.
Fantastic, amazing, love.
Amazing. But we are paying the price by there never being tours for these specific albums, So Mama's Boy by Lainey, my top 3 songs are... I had such a difficult time picking these 3 songs because every time I was like going through it and I was like clicking on all the songs and I was like, oh my god, wait, this song, wait, but no, this song is so good, wait, but no, I love this song. So it was so hard, but I'm gonna go with these 3. So my first one is What I Wish Just One Person Would Say to Me. Very long title, very amazing song. And like the story behind it, just it's so good. My next song is Anything for You. Also just an incredible song. And Me Being a Down Bad Girly by Down Bad by Taylor Swift. This song also, if you know, you know. Down Bad, Anything for You, basically the same thing. And then my third song is When You're Drunk, which the third spot was where I was like, oh, I don't know what song to pick because there's so many good ones, but I had to go with that one because it's really nostalgic for me, I feel like. But yeah, that album, I also feel like I've been trying, I don't think I've ever mentioned to you that I listened to Lainey.
No.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever heard about it. I don't know who this person is next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never listened to Lainey's music.
Yeah, I feel like you'd love it though. Honestly.
I feel like I've heard obviously music, but I've never like in depth fully listened to an album. But you just playing snippets of the songs, I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
It's like sucks because it's like I want to be into new music, but it's like I literally cannot afford going to any more tours. I could barely afford these current ones that we're going to, and then I just feel like we have such a list of our favorite albums that we tend to stick to those favorite albums.
Yeah, I definitely like Cheyenne's music taste is a lot broader than mine is. I tend to stay, like, I was talking to my friend recently and he was like, you have a very specific music taste. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's like pop girly to the max. Like, I don't branch out to anything. But like, I know my roots. I know where I come from. Like I'm from the 1D days, like songs like that. Like that's what I stick to a lot. And like I feel like even with like up and coming artists, like I don't listen to, like, even if it's like radio music, like I don't know, I just don't get into it because I'm so stuck on like specific artists or specific albums and their discography and like everything. So I don't really branch out the way that Cheyenne does. I feel like you definitely do that a lot.
Yeah, I love finding smaller, newer artists just because I'm like, okay, maybe I have a chance to see them or, whatever it is. But I love watching somebody like grow into like a bigger artist. I think it's like super rewarding because you can be like, I was there in the early days or whatever. Like, I feel like right after I graduated high school, it was like I was so into Alex Iono. And like he was such a small artist. He was doing YouTube covers, whatever. And I went to all of his tours. I met him every single time. His family knew who I was. Like, there's
she was gonna marry him.
Yeah. I still am. Hey, what's up? But I just feel like it's so much more intimate that way compared to like going to like a Taylor Swift show and being with hundreds and thousands of people surrounded by you. Like I'm never gonna meet this person, unless you're like so lucky. But the odds of that are crazy. I also love country music. That's not something that I like tell the world, it's not something that I like make known, but I do love country music. I just recently went to a Luke Combs concert and it was such a different dynamic than any concert that I've ever been to. But I think ultimately I'm just like so open. Like if it's like I don't have to like their whole discography. If I like one or two songs, like those are immediately going on my playlist. And I tend to lean more towards pop, but I love every genre really.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like also for me, I think I've mentioned this before, but I hate like digesting an album, like learning all the lyrics and everything. I hate it. I'm so dedicated to it when it comes to like my favorite artists and people that I actively listen to all the time. But if it's a new artist and it's like, especially if it's old work that they've done and I'm like just getting into the artist because they released something new and I like their new stuff, but then I have to go back to like learn everything. I'm like, I really have no interest in doing this right now. Like, I'd rather be listening to this new album that they just released and be fine with that.
I feel like it happens organically if I'm like, I need to learn this and I need to go. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I just like ultimately never listen to the album compared to just like, I think my thing a lot of the time is like I have Spotify. So when I listen to a playlist, I hit like Smart Shuffle. So it'll recommend songs that are similar to what is on the playlist. And then I'm like, oh, I like this song. And then it kind of leads me into, well, let me see, what does this artist have? I feel like that's kind of ultimately how I ended up finding Steven Sanchez. And I was like, oh my God, his music is actually so, like I knew until I found you because everybody knew that song, but I hadn't really like looked into it. And then a lot of his music was recommended to me and I was like, oh my God, his music is actually so good. And I'm in love with him now. So.
And he's my husband now.
He's my husband. But yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just constantly getting off topic.
We're just yappers, you know?
We're just yappers. My fourth album, I really didn't know which direction I wanted to go into. Like I said, I'm everywhere musically. But ultimately, I was going through like my liked music and I found the album by Adele, 21. This album specifically, I just remember hearing it for the first time and I was like, who is this? Like, I don't think I had ever heard of Adele prior to this album. And when I did, I was like, this album is fucking incredible. But yeah, definitely a no skip album for me. Again, sad girly album, so of course. My top 3 of that album is Set Fire to the Rain because banger. Love Song. If you haven't heard Love Song by Adele, listen to it. It is so good. 10 out of 10. I feel like that song is probably my number 1 from the album, but I was just stressed out and was like, I need to find 3 songs. And again, I was like, I don't know. Like, Ava, I don't know. I can't pick 3 songs, but ultimately I had to. And my third song is Don't You Remember? Because, ouch, that song fucking hurts. That song is literally like a paper cut.
Like your cat scratches?
Yeah. If you know, you know. But yeah, that is my 4th album just because it's
Adele.
It's Adele. It's phenomenal. I feel like she, deserved her flowers with this one. And just killed it ever since. But this album specifically is like super, I think it's just more so like nostalgic for me. But it's also fantastic.
Slay. So my 5th album, I actually have on here Good Riddance by Gracie Abrams. But you guys know I love Good Riddance. If you know, you know. I love Good Riddance. It was also a life-changing album for me. But I think I'm going to change it because...
What?
Because as much as I love it, it's not a no skip for me. I'm so sorry, Gracie.
I'm going to tell her.
But I think I'm trading it out for The Secret of Us by Gracie Abrams, which, yes, is her new album, but I feel like at first hearing that album, immediately I was like, Felt Good About You, which is the opening track, was like a skip for me. But it's definitely grown on me. It's still not my favorite. I would still rank it last. But it's such, like, if coming from Good Riddance and that being the first song for her next album makes so much sense because there's a specific line in Good Riddance, in the opening track of Good Riddance, which is called Best. And the lyric is, "You fell hard, I thought good riddance." And then in "Felt Good About You," which is the opening track in "Secret of Us," she says, "Fell hard, then I lost your interest." So it's kind of like a parallel between the two albums, which is so cool to me. So I think, what did I say my top three are? I know my top three. I know it off the top of my head. My top three from that album is gonna have to be "Free Now." Just, oh my god, an amazing song. Hearing like the first little snippet that she posted on Instagram, I was immediately like, yes, that I'm claiming that song. That's gonna be my number one. Sure enough, it was. It was even better than I could have imagined from the clip that she posted. The like whole bridge part is just absolutely insane, and I can't even fathom the fact that I'm gonna hear that live soon. So definitely "Free Now" is my number one song. My number two song is a song that absolutely fucks me up. It's "Let It Happen." Yeah, just, yeah, I don't even know. I can't even explain it to you. If you don't understand,
Listen to
not my
it.
problem.
Yeah.
But
sorry, you don't like good music.
yeah, but "Let It Happen." And then my third song has to be "Tough Love," which is all about like just prioritizing your friends in your 20s over like a boy, which has always been my motto.
Yeah,
truthfully.
we hate men here.
But if you like, this whole album, she said, is like about unrequited love, which makes so much sense, and I get it. I get it. So I definitely had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, that album is probably number one for me currently.
It hurts knocking Good Riddance off, but I'm sorry, y'all. I would say like "Will You Cry" is a skip for me. It's an amazing song, but like the lyrics in it, but I do skip it all the time. I'm sorry, Gracie. I love you. Sorry. If I want to cry, if I want a good, I love you. I'm sorry. If I want a good like cry, immediately Good Riddance, no skips. But just on like a day-to-day basis, I'm skipping "Will You Cry" and "Fall Line." Sorry. I love you. I'm sorry.
I'm not going back and forth, but no. Okay, my fifth and final album is "Midnights" by Taylor Swift.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There was so many choices. Like I was like immediately Folklore, of course, but I feel like there's a couple songs in there that I could skip and not be mad about it. But I think for me, Midnights is the perfect pop album. The perfect, I don't know, it was like what she was missing, I think. Like she obviously has so many different albums, so many like things that she's experimented with over the years, but like Midnights is just truly like, I don't know, what we needed from her, I think. So with that being said, I have my favorites from Midnights for sure. I mean, the whole album's fantastic, but Midnight Rain is something special. I don't know what kind of crack she put in that song, what kind of narcotics, but that song is so good. And if you do not like that song, you suck.
You have no taste, actually.
No, that song is incredible. The lyrics, are you fucking kidding me? He was sunshine, I was midnight. Like,
he wanted comfortable, I wanted that pain.
Like, crazy. I don't. No words for that, honestly. Like, I love that song through and through. Nothing wrong with it. Number one forever. My second song is Vigilante Shit. Picture me thick as thieves with your ex-wife. Are you kidding me? That song is so good. I feel like so many people don't like that song. The performance that she has with it, the lyrics are insane. That is the biggest fuck you song
To everyone.
to everybody that's done her wrong, and as she should. Like, that song is incredible. I need a vigilante shit tattoo immediately.
While he was doing lines and crossing all of mine, someone told his white collared lies to the FBI. Are you kidding?
So good. Like, what? That song is insane. I need to know what. Insane. I need to know what that day looked like for her. What was that conversation surrounding vigilante shit? Like, I need to know. I would have killed to be a fly on the wall that day.
I imagine her with Jack and just being like, I want to say
And
fuck
ruin
you to
his
everyone
life.
else.
I want to ruin him. Incredible. Picture me thick as thieves with your ex-wife is crazy and amazing. Like, what a woman. And my last song that I picked is Sweet Nothing. I feel like it's just a good... I have like no words for the song. It's so good. It's just a cute little... It like either makes you feel good or makes you want to cry your eyes out. I feel like it just depends on how you go in listening to that song. But I feel like I have a sweet spot for that song. But Midnight Rain and Vigilante shit just fuck me up every time I hear it. For two completely different reasons. One is like, oh my god. And the other one was like, period, bitch. Get it. Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, Midnight is a perfect album to me. I think like Labyrinth is also great, but I'm not gonna go there. But
Too many good ones.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Where do we go from here? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to rank these albums. Like, they're truly all just... Maybe never my notes with. Just so perfect in their own way. Obviously, no skips.
well, your almost album was Good Riddance, right?
Yeah.
Would that be your 6, or would you just not include that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I might not include it.
Because I had a 6th one, but I ultimately took it out because I just think these other albums deserve to shine. But you know me and Ava, we have a little soft spot for our boys, our 1D boys. And I almost put Take Me Home by One Direction because that album is that. I think I took it off because it's more nostalgic for me than a no skip album. So I think every time I hear it, I just want to listen to it fully because it brings me back to a certain time in my life. But I feel like I could probably skip like 1 or 2 songs on there. So I think that's ultimately why I took it off.
Yeah. We were talking about like what song or what albums we were going to put on here. And we were like, a One Direction album. We were trying to think, but
then we couldn't pick a One Direction album, right?
Yeah.
Which one? And then we just ended up not including it because if you know anything about Ava, she is the biggest 4 stan. She loves the album 4 by the One Direction boys, and that album is actually perfect, but
just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think they're just albums that are stronger in our roster, so we love our 1D boys forever. That'll never change, but I think for a no skip album,
didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay.
It's okay. Maybe one day we'll get back there, you know? Maybe when they reunite and they have a new album out, that'll be a no skip album.
It's okay. There's still time.
There's room for growth.
Yeah, obviously. It's been 10 years. 14 years. I hope they've improved.
Yeah,
It's sickening to think about.
14 years. 14 years ago? Do you know how old I was 14 years ago? 12.
I was 6.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. How am I that much older than you? I'm young at heart. I'm 19 forever.
That's what counts.
I miss being 19. You don't miss being 19. I feel like you were just 19, so it's like...
Yeah, I'm kind of 19 right now.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of almost a little bit.
Kind of almost. Basically. Pretty much.
Yeah, no. I miss being 19 for sure. 19 was my favorite year. I'm not a big drinker, so 21, I was like, man, whatever. You know what I did for my 21st? I can't talk. 21st birthday. You know what I did for my 21st birthday? I got drunk at Disneyland. That sounded fun. I just want to go to Disneyland, but I was like, I'm 21. And I had like 2 drinks, and I was like, I'm wasted.
I'm so off the rails right now.
I'm off my rocker, and I'm wasted. Yeah, but I could literally talk about these albums forever.
Yeah.
Gracie Abrams slayed with that.
She really did.
She did the damn thing.
Yeah, it's a bug. Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know what is your number one,
like off the top of
no
your head.
skip album? Just one. It doesn't have to be like the ultimate, the only, the, you know, your
Just
number
one.
one. Just what's the first album that comes to your head that you're like, no skips? I love this album. I would love to know. I love hearing other people's rankings and stuff because everybody's is always so different.
Yeah. You know what bugs the hell out of me? When people are doing like album or rankings for an album on like TikTok and all the comments are like, this is wrong. Like, it might be wrong to you, but it's not wrong to the person that ranked it. Like, why are you so aggressive here? That's why in all those videos I'll comment like, oh my gosh, I love your ranking.
Even if I don't, I'm just here for good vibes, you
I'm
know?
always here for the good vibes. I love seeing people ranking their favorite albums and everything. So I'm always like, wow, this song's low.
In my head, I'm like, that's a crime. I would never put that number 7 or whatever. But
I'm like, I'm respected.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
I get it. I feel like that's how it is with all of our music. People are like, that's basic. But like, we would die on the hill of saying, no, these albums change our lives and our perspective on music, and everybody is entitled to their own opinions. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Go rank your own albums.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Be a hater somewhere else. There's no haters allowed here except for us.
True.
But we're like,
we're nice haters.
We're nice haters. We hate from a distance. We'll never be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, we'll just discuss between the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine. We're nice people.
We're nice.
We just tell the truth.
In private.
In private. For good vibes. Good vibes. We are also chaotic, Avi, so
yeah,
we get
obviously
off of topic quite a lot. We just love yapping. We've discovered we make each other yap and yap and yap.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, like there's this episode's going nowhere. We just keep fucking talking. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think we need to end
it. We need to end it. If you want to follow us on any of our social media, it'll be linked down below. If you want to follow our podcast social media, it is at Keeping It Chaotic Pod on everything. But like I've said before, we post more so on our individual personal Instagrams.
If you want to see what we're up to.
Yeah, we are always up to something. I feel like we post like at least every other day on there.
If you want to see us being even more obnoxious of fangirls, then follow us on our personal account.
And we have highlights on there of all the concerts we have been to, the books we are reading. Ava has like an outfits highlight. There's something for everybody. So make sure to check that out. And yeah.
Thank you so much for listening and supporting us. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.